Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. My name is Yami Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys are excited about today. We have a great Wednesday morning going on. I'm going to share this video right fast so I can make sure that everybody is can hear a little bit on how to live past crazy. Are you guys ready for Thanksgiving? I know that I surely am. I am ready for this day. Even though I'm going to eat good. I'm not going to eat bad. I'm still going to eat good. I'm going to share this. Let me know what you guys thought about the show on yesterday. If there's any topics that you would like for us to cover or go over, let me know. And I will make sure, why can't I share this? And I will make sure to cover those. And then we will be, I haven't decided if I'm going to come on tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving, or if I'm going to come on Friday. If y'all want us to come on tomorrow or Friday, then just let us know. But let me know, and I will be on here Thursday and Friday. My co-host, Miss Lynn Dimmons, who is America's #1. Yes, she said it, America's #1 rebound coach, will be back with us on Monday. So she will be back, and then we will be back to the car edition on Monday. We will not be in the office just because Rosie's out of school this week. And so we get to be in the office instead of in the car. Let me get today's quote together because I have a good one. So today's quote is the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. And that's by Paul Vallari. The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. And a lot of us, if we think about it, we have so many dreams that we do not act upon, that we don't do anything with, simply because we are afraid to do anything with them. And why is that? Why are we afraid? Good morning, Miss Kim. I was looking, but I wasn't looking at the bottom of the screen. Why are we afraid? The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. So, guys, focus on your dreams. It's the holiday season. Be thankful. We should be thankful every day, but I guess the holiday season puts people in an extra thankful mood. Good morning, Cousin Carl. How are you? Cousin Carl, did you find somewhere to go for Thanksgiving? Because you know the Waddell clan, Tony, Kim, I think Kim will be home for Thanksgiving. So we'll always be at the Waddell household. One of them anyway. Good morning. All right, today, guys, so I kind of been following a pattern all week about Monday was make a decision for yourself, grow past your hurts. Tuesday was the power to change and the 6 things that you needed. And today, the third one is, what do you receive? It's all in your perception and your perspective. What do you receive? A lot of times it is how we see things that generate our outlook on life, and it's how we receive things that generates our outlook on life. Oh, you got to work? How about I tell Jerry to save your plate and you can just swing on by Kim's house and pick it up after work. So we got you covered. So you won't have, at least you'll have something to eat while you're working hard for Amazon over there. So what do you receive? What is your perception and what is your perspective? So your perception is, how do you think somebody is going to do something for you? How do you think about how a situation is going to happen? And a lot of times, if our perception about something is wrong, then the outcome for it is going to be wrong. So you're more than welcome, Cousin Carl. So you got to think about that when somebody, especially when someone has hurt us, and it can mess up our perception of the rest of anything else that somebody else tries to do for us. And our perspective is, what do you think about what somebody did to you? Or because in all our thoughts, we acted out. So we may say it didn't bother us and that the perspective is, oh, I'm okay and I'm going to be all right. but in reality, you live out something totally different than what you said. So how do you receive it? Your perception and your perspective. And I think perspective kind of trumps all of it, because it is how you see it, it's how you think about all of it at the end of the day that's going to determine your outcome for that event. Because we talked about why we holding on to the past, why we holding on to things, and why are we not being grateful and seizing opportunities. And sometimes if our perspective and our perception is wrong, then we're not going to see the opportunities that come to us, simply because we have been so focused on the hurt and the frustration and the struggle and the strife that we don't know that it's actually an opportunity, or we don't know that it's somebody there to help us. And we can't see that because our perception and our perspective is kind of clouded by the things that have happened in life. And a lot of times, I know for me, and this is confessions and conversations, I know for me, there have been a lot of times where I have truly missed out on things, opportunities, because of my perception and my perspective of, well, I've seen this situation before and I know what's going to happen. And so I project my bad idea, my bad thoughts and vibes to the situation before I even know this opportunity. And I've missed out on many of an opportunity because my perspective and my perception about it were wrong. Is someone trying to help you, and perhaps your perspective is wrong about how they're trying to help you? Is your perception and perspective wrong about what is really going on in life? Because if we stop and think about it, yes, we all have problems. Your excuses will always be valid. But what are we going to do about it? Your perspective about the situation is what's going to allow you to change, to do something different. And in that perspective, it's all in your thought. You've got to change your thought process around what happened. Because if you don't, then that's what's going to allow you to stay where you are. And you have to have the joy of the change that you already have. You got to have joy in the change that you already have. So if you've begun on this fearless journey, then you have to be excited about the joy that you have from coming further than where you were. So if you're just stepping outside of crazy and you're just living past crazy, you got to have the joy of what you already have overcome, even though you may have a long way to go. But it is your perspective that's going to make it a little bit easier. Because if you start this journey, y'all, my nose is itching, excuse me. If you start this journey and you are, what's the word I want to use? Frustrated, aggravating, like, Lord, this is the change that I want, but I'm coming with this attitude to get the work done, which is your perspective, then the work is going to be harder. There's not going to be any joy in the change that you are trying to make, because you feel like it's a struggle or it's not something you want to do. So think about your perspective when you are in your perception, when you're going through this change. And yes, you got to do it for yourself. And then there's a journey for you. But be excited about this journey. Don't be like, oh, Lord, I got to change because these people are driving me crazy. I got to change. And which are all valid points. We're changing for a reason, because something has happened and we want to change our situation. But be excited about the journey. Will it be hard work? Absolutely. But it is your perspective and your perception along the journey that's going to make it harder or easier. Because if you make it harder, this is what's going to happen. So your brain is going to be, and your brain, y'all know me in brain science, your brain wants to keep you safe. It wants to protect you at all costs, regardless. So no matter the change you want to do, it's going to be like, you know what? I don't like this change. I know what we were doing back then. So along this journey, as you're fighting the new you with the old you, and you're changing your thoughts, your perspective and your perception is what's going to carry you through. Because your brain, midway through, when you hit that, you feeling kind of good because you got new rules to you and you got a new perspective. Midway through, you're going to hit a snag. And your brain is going to be like, see, JoJo, I told you. I told you that the same thing was going to happen again. And you didn't listen. And then the old you is going to beat up the new you. Because that inner roommate, remember I told you guys about your inner roommate that talks over you, the one that wants to do right, that inner roommate that says, you know what? That ain't what we know. We know this over here. We don't know this over there. And so as soon as you try to do something different, as soon as you want to start a new business, as soon as you want to live past crazy, as soon as you want to get a new friend, as soon as you want to do something different, your brain is going to be like, see, I told you, we knew this over here. We don't know this over here. So if you go back to this, I can keep you safe. If you go back to this, I can continue to tell you how we're going to live in crazy. I can help you in crazy. I can't help you outside of crazy. So midway through, and I tell you guys all the time, that is the place where battles are won. That's where you're going to have to be the strongest, because you're going to have to kill that inner roommate. You're going to have to hurt the old you with the new you. You're going to have to punch their lights out. And you're going to have to be bound and determined that you're going to make it through, and it's going to take work, because that is when your perspective and your perception changes everything about what's going on. When I was going through, my perspective and perception was absolutely everything I could have. And let me tell you, please understand, there were days when I had pity parties out the yin yang. And I was like, why do I have to go to get food from the food bank? Why do I have to stand in line with all these people? Like, why do I have to do this? Because things are not working for me. It's not fair. And then I have a whole pity party. But then I changed my perspective and my perception. I may not have had the support system that I wanted and needed, but I was able to make ends meet by any means necessary. If that meant I was picking up pennies on the side of the street to make the $3 to get into the food bank to get food for me and my girls, then that's what I did. And when you change your perspective, this is what I told myself, that JoJo, this has got to happen. There's no other way, and you're the only person that's going to make it happen. Now, either you can continue to complain, my perception and my perspective, you can continue to complain, because the point is your excuses are valid. Yep, you got it hard. Yep, you were staying in the shelter. Yes, your family's 400 miles away. Yes, you're only making $12.65 an hour. Yep. We know all of that. But you are the only one that's going to make this change. It's only going to happen if you make it happen. So you need to handle your business. You need to make it work. And the sooner that you make it work, the sooner you can get past it. And that's how I had to talk to myself. So those days when I was standing in line at the food bank, and and y'all, if y'all ever heard me tell my penny story, when I was down to $2.99 and finding a penny on the street made a difference of me and my kids eating, and me and my kids not eating. I pick up pennies all the time. Good morning, Miss Margaret. I tell my penny story all the time. Me and my girls will stop. I don't care where we are. If we see a penny, we stop and pick it up, because it is a great reminder. On the back of it, it says, "In God we trust." And on those days where I only had $2.99 and it cost $3 to get in the food bank, and I found that penny, it was always with the side that said, "In God we trust." And I would pick up that penny and I would gladly go stand in that food bank line so that I could feed my kids. And your perspective and your perception is what's going to carry you through. We can have that pity party, y'all. I'm the biggest pity party person you ever want to meet. And it was at that point that I had to decide, either I'm going to change my perspective and my perception of what's going on, or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wallow in my crazy, or I'm going to continue to do this. I knew that going to the food bank was not my end all to be all, but I did know that it was part of the process that I had to get through, and that if I wanted better, there were certain things that I had to do, and I had to do the work. Remember, there's no problem that doesn't have an answer. I was at IBM, yes, making $12.26 an hour. So what did that mean? I had to get my resume together. I had to go out there and I applied for jobs out the yin yang until I got another job at Duke Hospital. And then I worked at Duke and I made better money, so I didn't have to go to the food bank anymore. It is your perception and your perspective. So it is when those days where you feel like you can't go another step further, yes, you got to work yourself through it. And that's what I had to tell myself. I had to say, listen, JoJo, we can sit here and we can complain. Yes, you have a preemie. Absolutely. She only weighs 4 pounds. You're correct. And you have a 7-year-old. Yes, you do. So what are you going to do about it? Are we all going to sit here and cry? Or are you going to do something about it? And then when something clicks in your mind that says there are no other options and that I absolutely have to have the answer, then you start making the changes. So on this journey, whether you're starting a business, whether you're starting to teach classes, whether you're wanting to do webinars, whether you want to hold event, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever business it is you want to do, it is right there. Right. What do you believe about it? I believe your perspective is 100% everything. It's going to change your outlook in life. It's going to change the trajectory of where you want to go. Because if my perspective is here and it's all bad, I'm going to continue down this crazy line. That's exactly what I'm going to continue. If my perspective is changed and I choose to focus on the positive and I change my thoughts, then I'm able to change where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, who I'm going to meet along the way, and who's going to help me. There is support there. I promise you, support is there in abundance, but you absolutely have got to change your perspective and your perception. Because if you don't, there's not going to, the support that you think you want, you're not going to get. Meaning, if you're in crazy, you're going to continue to get crazy support because they're going to continue to be with you on your story. You know, if you call that girlfriend that said, girl, I'm tired, busted, broke, and disgusted, they're going to have the same pity party with you. If we keep talking about ain't no me and I ain't got a man, they're going to keep having that pity party with you. When you stop talking about the thing and you concentrate and change your perspective, it's going to change where you want to go, what you want to do, and where you want to be, and how you want to get there. And it's on this journey. It's on those days where you're like, there's nothing going right, and I don't understand why. It is going to be your perspective and your perception that's going to carry you through. There are absolute days where I felt like, and still sometimes do, I have no answers. Like, I don't know. I have no answers, and y'all know how I feel about I don't know. As soon as you say I don't know, your brain stops working and it will never give you the answer that you're seeking. But there are days when I'm frustrated and I don't know the answer and I don't want to do the work of the answer. And it is on those days that is my perspective and my perception that is going to change if I go back to where I started or if I'm going to continue forward to where I want to go. So on this, what is this? Miss Margaret's is working Wednesday. I think I didn't watch you this morning, Miss Margaret, but I think yours is working Wednesday. On this Hump Day Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, think about that. Think about what is your perception and what is your perspective? What are you receiving? Because it is in the receiving of your perception and your perspective that's going to change your life. And a lot of times, the things that we receive come from other people. Our perspective and our perception come from other people, especially when you make the mistake of sharing your dream with somebody who is not a dreamer, who doesn't understand, who has never tried to accomplish the things that you do. Miss Margaret, I understand. Mine is the shower. On those days when I need to change my perspective, I go stand in the shower and I stay there until I feel like getting out. I don't care if there's no more hot water. I stay in there until my perspective has changed and I have a different mindset. Mine is the shower. Good morning, Miss Minister Valley. How you doing this morning? Yes, I know Miss Margaret's hashtags, her thoughts for the day. Thinking Thursday, working Wednesday. I got you, Miss Margaret. So you got to find, what are you going to do? What are you receiving? What are you receiving that's going to change your perception and your perspective about what is going on? And then who are you allowing to give you that insight to change it? Are they building you up? And y'all know how I feel about your circles. Yes, Miss Savella, we're doing good over here. I said we're enjoying the office view this week because we'll be back in the car next week for school. But who are you allowing to change your perspective and your perception in life? Is it your family and your friends? Because as soon as you tell them something, they be like, girl, oh boy, you always doing something. What you doing now? That's my family's favorite. When I call my mama, JoJo, Lord, what you doing now? What is it now, JoJo? It doesn't matter. I'm not going back that way. I'm always going to be forward. So and I've learned to accept it, that that's just what they're going to say. I've learned to accept that their perception, their perspective, they are not my reality. And sometimes you have to realize that whatever you receive is going to become your reality. So if you are allowing people to feed into you their perspective and their perception of how you should live your life and how they live their life and compare you to theirs, you will always live their life. Always. You're always going to live their dreams. You're always going to live their hopes. And more importantly, you're always going to live their fears. Period. So what are you receiving? What are your friends and family feeding into you? And what are you receiving? What is your perception and your perspective of your life? Is it somebody else's? Or is it truly yours? Because if it's somebody else's, it's not true to who you are. Right. I agree, Miss Mark. I've stopped telling some people just because they're not going to share. I have a girlfriend. Look, why am I whispering? I have a girlfriend like that. And when I tell her stuff, she's like, you didn't tell me that. That's because I learned a long time ago you don't listen. People don't listen. And this is how I know. Pay attention to this. This is JoJoism 101. When you have something going on or you're excited about something and you have a dream and you have an idea and you call your best friend up on the phone. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing? Guess what? I want to start this business. This happened when I started the hair care line. Girl, I want to start a hair care line. And then, oh, well, that's nice. And then as the conversations went on, because when you get excited, because when your perception, your perspective change, you get excited and you want to talk about it all the time. This is how the conversation changed. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. They have nothing to say when you tell them, because I can be like, well, girl, I'm going here to speak and I'm going to do this and I'm going, And as soon as they say that, you can put $100 on this, they will change the conversation. Right, Miss Margaret. I can show you, Ben. I can tell you that's Gerald Whitehall 101. That's my daddy. He told me that all the time. I can show you better than I can tell you. But pay attention to your friends, because your circle of friends, are they encouraging you? Or are they building you down? Y'all know I do not like the word little. You got that little business. You got that little speaking engagement. You have that little. And when you go to tell them your dreams or your aspirations or what you have going on, listen to their conversation. If it's, oh, well, girl, that's good. Now, when is that little event again? Or when you tell it to them, they do the uhs and the ums, and then they check. Well, girl, let me tell you what happened at work today. And they're going to bring it back to themselves, more importantly. And then number two, they're not only going to bring it back to themselves, they're going to bring it back to the point of, let's not forget our pity party over here. Hello, we're having a pity party because while you're still trying to move and go on, I am insisting on having a pity party. So let's get back to the fact that I have no money. I have no gas. There is no food. The kids are getting on my nerves. That's what I want to know. Yes, Margaret, the circle can crush you if you let it. And I had to learn that the hard way. And so for me, what I did is I no longer share certain things with that friend. What I do is I will call and I talk everything but that. I talk everything but my dream. I talk, girl, I'm stuck in traffic. Let me tell you about them kids getting on my nerves. Let me tell you about the job. And I call to have a mindless conversation. I don't call to have conversations of, this is where I want to take my business. This is where I want to take this. You have to have different. Thank you, Minister Valor. And y'all know what? Confessions and conversation, that was so hard for me. That was so hard for me to get, because I wanted one friend to be all end all. I wanted my one friend to be everything, and they could not. And it was not their fault that I gave them that expectation. It was my fault because I put it on them and didn't tell them. And so when I changed my expectation, our relationship was better because I'm trying to force them to do something they don't want to do. So I understand that this friendship is just to chit chat, mindless comment. I don't even have to participate fully in that conversation. And then I have friends that I call where we talk about Jesus, and we talk about not putting God in a box, and we talk about our religion. And then I have friends that I call and we talk about my business. And oh, thank you, Deanne. Thank you. My mother made these for me. And so I had to realize that one friend couldn't be everything. And it's okay to have different circles of friends that do different things for me. Like, I'm not a be-all friend for anybody either. And I had to realize that for myself. And then I felt bad because then I was giving myself a pity party. Oh, I can't be her all-in-one friend. No, I can't. She can't be my all-in-one friend. And we have different circles of friends that do different things for us. But you got to check your circle. Right, Miss Margaret? We've got to lean in that. And you've got to be intentional about your circle, because your circle is going to determine where you're going in your future. So what do you receive? Your perception and your perspective are everything. Who are you allowing to change your perspective and your perception on where you want to go, where you want to be, how you want to get there? Period. He's right. He will not share his... Thank you, Minister Valley. She be on it. Exactly. He is the absolute only one. And then when you realize that, it's not as hurtful because you don't have to go tell it to everybody. Yeah, there are some days when I want to call somebody up and I'm so gung-ho and excited, and there's no one to call. Like Minister Valley said, you pray and say, Lord, thank you for this opportunity. And you keep it moving because it's not to share with everyone. Who are you allowing to change your perspective and your perception? Please check your circle. It may be hurtful because it may be your family. It may be your mama, your daddy now, your sister, your brother, your favorite cousin, and it may even be your best friend. They're trying to change your perspective because and here's the thing, their perspective can only go as far as they can see, not as far as you can see. We all have different visions. We all have different purposes. We all have different everything. So you can't be mad if they can't see what you see, if they don't have the perception and perspective to understand what you understand. It's not their job. So don't be upset about that, which was a hard thing for me to get over. That was an extremely hard thing for me to get over. And to be okay with them saying whatever it is they're going to say. When I changed my circle, my life changed a little bit. Well, not even a little bit. It changed a whole lot because I left certain circles over here to do certain things. And then I included new people to my circle to do other things, because the negative Nellies and the pity party patties, they can't go with you. They absolutely cannot go with you. And so if you need a cheerleader, that's what I'm here for. You know, that's what we do here on the Fearless Morning Show. I want to make sure that you guys are able to take some action and not just be like, oh, well, that was good. I agree with that, and not do anything. I actually want you to take the action to the next step of what you need to do. And you do know the next step. You just may not want to do the answer or the work of the next step. Right. Exactly, Miss Margaret. And you can't be, I used to get mad at that. Like, for real, I got mad at people because they didn't see what I saw, or they were not as excited as I was. I got mad, like, for real. I got mad at some friends and didn't talk to them. And then I realized that's my bad. I can't get mad at you for something it's not your business to do. It's not for you to get excited. It's not for you to comprehend. It's not for you to do anything other than stay and do and be where you are. Now, if you decide to change your perspective and your perception, hey, this is where I am. But then I had to realize some people truly enjoy the negativity in their life. They truly enjoy it. It gives them all the happiness in the world. And I had to be okay with that. And for me, that's really hard because if anybody knows me, when I'm excited, I want everybody to be excited. And then I'm going to find something for you. I'm like, this would be great for you. And I'm going to be excited for you. And you're not going to be excited for you. And then my feelings are going to be hurt because I think I've given you something great that I see you would be great at, but you don't see it. But what do you receive? Perspective or perception? Yes. It is. I also correct. I want to call you Minister Margaret. So that's what I'm going to call you, Minister Margaret. Exactly. I had to leave them in their space and when you going through that growth process, y'all, that ain't fun. Because you leaving your friends, some of your friends that you've had for years. And this is what I did. I had to leave them in their space, and I had to go and do what I had to do. And when I changed the rules to me, they reapproached me at the standard that I had reset, because it's a privilege to be my friend, just like it's a privilege to be their friend, right? And so when they came back and we had this understanding that and I didn't have to say this conversation I can no longer handle. It was evident that I'm not having that conversation. Good morning, Miss Antoinette. We all right. I'm so guilty of that, Minister Valley, putting my weight on the rock. Oh my God, I could write a book on that. And it's not their problem. It's not their responsibility. But when I focused on my perception and my perspective that JoJo, you got to do this, dog. There's nobody else that can do this but you, and you got to do the work. Whether nobody wants to do the work or whoever doesn't want to do the work, you got to do it. Amen, Miss Minister Margaret. You do. And I think we all feel that way. If we all, I know Miss Antoinette is real estate. I watched some of her videos. She's helping people buy their homes. Miss Deanne is a beautiful lady. Miss Deanne, I need to talk to you. And we all have things that is our ministry that is so much bigger than who we are. And we've got to be careful with who we share it with, because they can change our perception and our perspective to do something different than what we're called to do. And then, my friends, we're going to be mad and angry and wondering how we got over here when we're supposed to be over here. It's because we received somebody else's perspective and perception of our life. And they said it was so we believed it was so, and we changed our life based on somebody else's perception. My Jesus, what about that? Because let me tell you, that just spoke to me. Because I can go down the line and think about where I should have been, but because I received somebody else's perspective and perception of my life, that I changed my entire life and got sidetracked. And now you find yourself at JoJo at 43 trying to pick up the pace and get back on track of where I'm supposed to be because somebody else's perspective changed my route. And you can't do that. We absolutely cannot do that. So it's my job to ensure. Wow, that made me want to cry. Good Lord. That was good. What are we receiving, guys? That's changing our perspective and our perception about our life. Because if you're in an abusive relationship, they're changing you. If you're in a bad friendship, they're changing you. If you're at a bad job, it's changing you. And I can say that confession conversation. There have been some friendships at work. Had I not been at work, I never would have been that person's friend. Boom, Minister Margaret. Yes, ma'am. And when you know they don't care, but you're trying to force them to care, or you're trying to force the situation to be more than what it need to be, and they are clearly telling you, sister, I don't want no parts of whatever it is you selling, whatever it is you trying to change, because I'm happy where I am. And we started saying, but wait a minute. No. But listen, this could be great. They don't care. Boo. They don't care. And when I realized my abuser valued his life over mine, and that he'd rather take my life and keep his, that's when I decided I can't receive your perspective and your perception anymore. It may be hard as hell to live outside of what you put on me. It may be hard, but I refuse to continue to receive what you've given me. Right. Yes, Deanne. When I tell you my family hurt me, and it ain't that and here's the thing, your family loves you. And I had to put that in my mind. The love is there, period. They want to keep you safe, and they can only keep you safe as far as they know past their thinking. So if my mama's thinking is here, she can love me only to here. She can't love me past there to where I want to go, because she can't see that. And I had to let that go for my friends, for my family, for my close family. I had to let that go, that it's okay for them to love me in their space, and that I could not look for their love in another space because they were giving me exactly how they were feeling. Period. And I had to work with that. I had to work with how they were going to love me and then move past that. Miss Deanne, that's a deep conversation because it will be your family sometimes. And that, my friend, is the place where battles are won. Are you going to keep going or are you going to keep moving? Yeah. Yes, Mr. Valley. Y'all know I'm guilty of that. I talk too far with the wrong people. When you want more and different from them, they don't want to change. And it will drive you crazy, Deanne. Let me tell you, up a tree. My sister is one of the smartest women I know. She can do hair. She can bake. She can cook like nobody's business. And she will tell you in a minute she has no purpose in life. She don't know what she want to do. And she would call me with a new idea every single day. Every day. And I can get excited for her, but she's got to be willing to do the work. And that used to drive me crazy. But like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. No, I changed my mind. And it would drive me up a tree. Right, Miss Margaret. They're not doing it intentionally. That's just as far as they can go. They've taken you as far as they can take you. They can't take you no further. Not because they don't want to, but they're incapable of doing it because that's all they can. Their perception and their perspective stops here. Yours may pick up and keep going, but theirs stop here. And that is where your friend circles become important. That's where your support circles become important. That's where the other people where you've grown outside of become important. Because they're going to pick up that slack. Like I know I'm not going to get the love from my friend here, but I know I can call somebody else and I'm going to get the love from them there. They can't all be one all to be all. Your mother she may be supportive and she may love you, but she may only be able to take you so far. So now you can't get mad at mama because she doesn't love you in this new space. She loves you in the exact same space that she told you she can love you in, right? So now you got to find a substitute, not a substitute. The good Lord will put in another support system that's going to be able to help you with your perspective and your perception to go and do what you need to do. But don't receive any perspective or perception that's changing who you are to derail you. If you know you're supposed to be going here, don't bear off to the right. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. You be like, whoa, don't bear off. Stay where you're supposed to stay. Don't let anybody else change your perspective and your perception. And I think sometimes that is equally hard as wives, as mothers, and the more titles that you add on, the more and more it is for you to want to bear off to do what other people say that you should be doing. When I became First Lady, first of all, I was too young. People always told me what I should be doing. And then I veered off to do what they said I should be doing. Well, then I was a divorced First Lady. Well, you should still be in the church. So I veered off to do what that person said to do. And I kept veering off, and none of it was who I was. Right, Miss Margaret. You got to do the work to live. And when I tell y'all, we get mad about everything else. When you going to get mad about what you want? When are you going to get mad about your situation? Right, Minister Valerie? And when I tell you it takes time to be quiet, to figure out who to tell it to, who not to tell it to, and who to invite into your circle to tell it to, you're going to have to be quiet. Because here's the thing. This is another confession for me, y'all. I had friends that Jesus said, JoJo, don't open up your mouth and tell them nothing. I'm like, but Lord, you don't understand. That's my friend. And he said, no, don't open up your mouth, and I go run and tell it anyway. Because as Minister Valerie said, we talk a little bit too much to the wrong people. And then that their thought and their perspective and their perception changed the dream or thought or idea that I had because they didn't understand it. Now, the Lord said, I told you not to go over there. Didn't I tell you that? But I was insisting on going to tell him anyway. So think about that today. What have you changed to adapt to somebody else? Whose perception and perspective have you received that's not true to who you are? Like, right, Miss Margaret, like we know what we doing. I don't know. Listen, Jesus has pulled me a couple of times. And let me tell you, he's going to get your attention voluntarily or involuntarily. Whichever way you want it to happen, he's going to get your attention because his word is not going to return to him void. And it will come to pass. Now, he would love for you to do that, but he's going to want your attention. And you're going to have to follow his direction. So, guys, think about that. For this Hump Day Wednesday, as we're coming up on Thanksgiving Day is tomorrow, what are you receiving? What is your perception and your perspective about where you are, where you want to go, and what you want to do? Are you receiving somebody else's? Because here's the thing. We can be good at something. Like, I'm great. I've been an HR person forever. I'm great at doing resumes. I'm great at helping people think about starting their business. I'm great at a lot of things, but it's not true to who I am. Right. Yes, he's giving us the free will to make a mess, Miss Margaret. That's right. That is exactly right. And we can't get caught up comparing to anybody else. Y'all know my favorite Minister Valerie Psalms. Here it is. Psalms 37 helped me out in that. When I was going through Minister Valley, that's on the wall. It said God told me to write the vision. He didn't ask me for the money. He told me to write the vision and make it plain. That's it. That's what he told me to do. And then he told me to do the work of it. All of that requires action. So you still gotta do the work. But when I was going through and I was comparing myself, thinking about other people's perception and perspective, I came upon it. I was like, well, Lord, this person over here is doing this and why can't I? And I done got all caught up in other people's business and having my little self a pity party. And Psalms 37 came up because I was like, how come everybody doing better than me? Right? And Psalms 37 came up. And it says, why are you worried about what other people are doing? That ain't, first of all, ain't your business. Number one, your end is different than their end. So why are you concerned with that? Why? Why are you concerned with that? And then I had to hold on. I had to fold fast to that. All right, guys. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, please make sure that you send them over to our YouTube channel. That is yesterday's show that I just loaded. We are 249 videos strong over there, so they can binge watch the Fearless Morning Show all day long. If they don't want to watch football tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, they can do that. Right, as if they're the best. Right, as if they're the best example. Nah, dog. And you gotta pay attention. Please pay attention to your friend circle. If you don't do nothing else this weekend, right? Yes, Minister Fowler, he will bring the help to you. And here's the thing, and y'all know I imitate people in church. Lord Jesus, help me, send me the answer. And God said, you're steady praying with your hands closed. And you keep asking me for the same thing over and over. But you're so busy talking, you're so busy doing that you're not able to open up your hands and you're not quiet enough to receive that answer. I'm trying to give you the answer that you wanted. But you're so busy talking about it, yelling about it, doing all of that you can't receive it. So maybe your answer and your blessing is there. You just got to be quiet and open up your hands to receive it because you steady, Lord G, got your hands clenched up and you got it in a headlock praying all hard. When Jesus said, if you just let something go, I can replace it. I'm trying to give it to you, but you insist on yelling and screaming. So when you let it go and receive it, there you go. That's your answer. So, guys, please make sure you share the video if this has helped somebody. If you know somebody who is living in crazy, right? I'm a firm believer. Be quiet. Firm believer. Because let me tell you, I have to tell y'all this story and then I'm going to go for real. Because it's 8 o'clock. I got to go to work. So I've been married 2 times, 3 times. So this first husband was my abuser. And I got out of that. And so I gave Jesus a list of things. Y'all know how we get specific with a list of things that we want from Jesus. I don't want a preacher. I don't want a light-skinned man. I don't want this. I had a whole list. I put it in my Bible. I slapped it in there and I was like, Jesus, work it out. I'm praying A to the minute. Guess what? I married the exact same man again. The second time. Good morning. How you doing? I saw your pictures on Instagram. You're so beautiful. Um, and I was like, Jesus, what? How could you give me the same man? And I didn't ask for that. And I realized, number one, that my picker was off. I was picking, and the good Lord didn't ask me to pick nobody for nothing. Right. He didn't ask me for my input in picking a man for me. He didn't ask me because he already knew. But you know, when you hard headed. And so I was going through the divorce and I was like, Lord Jesus, what is wrong with me that I can't get this? I can't get this together. What is really going on? And I went into that praying, y'all. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. Oh, and I prayed some more. Lord, send me the answer. Jesus, is it me? And then I was on the altar. I was teaching Bible study. I was teaching Sunday school. I was in the word. I was in the word, praying, hollering, screaming. And then one day I'm cleaning up my bedroom and I was like, Lord, can you just please give me an answer? What am I doing wrong? And I sat down and I opened up my Bible. And it opened up to Isaiah 54, verse 5. And it says, for your maker is your husband, the Lord Almighty is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. And it goes on to say, you were a wife of your youth, and I hid myself in you for a little while, but now I'm back. And he says, I will have compassion on you. And he says, my foundations are made of rubies, and to take the sides off my tent so he can enlarge my territory. And I was like, well, Jesus, why didn't you tell me that before? Like when I was first over here crying and rolling on the floor. And he says, because you weren't trying to be quiet. You were busy rolling on the floor, hollering and screaming. Sometimes, my friends, the answer is there. You just got to be quiet. You got to be willing to do the work of the answer. So you almost did it, Miss Margaret. Let me tell you something. You got to be willing to do the work of the answer. So on this Hump Day Wednesday, what do you receive? What is your perception? What is your perspective? Are you changing your life because somebody else's perspective and perception, they have put it on you and you assume that that's your direction of life? You need to find out your own direction and not somebody else's. Please make sure you share this video with somebody you know who is living in crazy, guys. If they do not have Facebook, I posted a YouTube channel up there so they can binge watch the Fearless Morning Show on YouTube. It is by title, so they can pick anyone they want. On Monday, Miss Lynn Dimmons, who is America's #1 rebound coach. Yes, she said it, America's #1. She will be back with us on Monday. She is on vacation, so she will be back. And if you guys want me to come on tomorrow, I'll be traveling. I can come on tomorrow. We can do the car edition tomorrow. Let me know, because I'm thinking about just doing it. Just go ahead and finishing out the week strong with the Fearless Morning Show. But you guys let me know. If there's a topic or anything that you want us to cover, please send us a message and let us know. We'll make sure that we can cover it. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. I hope that you think about your friend circle, think about the conversations you have with your friends, and think about the perception that you are receiving from other people. Yes, cards and shit. Now Miss Margaret, I'm gonna be up with you bright and early tomorrow morning, hitting that road. So I'll be in the car. I'll be joining you at 6 a.m. When you come, Miss Margaret has Margaret in the mornings. Miss Margaret, put your link on there so that people can join you in the mornings. I share her videos. She has Margaret in the mornings, and she is our job coach. And here is her thing right here. Yes, being thankful in your mess. Let me tell you, being thankful is going to change your things. Yes, we're working Wednesday, 10 a.m. on my show. There you go, working Wednesday. So y'all make sure y'all check out Miss Margaret today at 10 a.m. I'm sure it's going to be Facebook Live so that you can get your whole life together for your job and your career. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.